Hello everyone. We are here today to work on the 6-day countdown to Christmas. So I'm going to be working in my handmade journal, and I decided to work on this music paper because there's something about vintage music sheets that remind me of Christmas. I've got a whole bunch of things here to add. I love these images from the Tim Holtz Holiday Paper Doll line, and I've been dying to use them. And then I have some papers here, colored paper. These are some printout from Lisa Young's website that she has given me to try with this project. I'm kind of excited about that. And I even have some just like funky watercolor shapes, maybe, depending on how I feel. I never really have a plan when I get started, but I try to just get started and then hope for the best. And I love adding kind of vintage patinaed dictionary paper or ledgers. A lot of people like to do this, but I feel like it just gives my pages a little more depth. So I'm just going to tear some, and you can find these anywhere. A good place to look for vintage papers like this, you know, when COVID is over. Library book sales. Sometimes I literally will find some of these things on my walks. You know, people are cleaning out their garage or their house. I found this music paper on the side of the road in someone's box of things to get rid of. And I just love being able to kind of add, you know, see what I can find. I found a Shakespeare book one day. I'm going to be using a Sharpie paint pen. It's water-based, and it's in bright, it's just red, but I love the way their red looks. And I always like to, I mean, for now, until I get tired of this motif, I love adding little kind of botanical doodles to my pages. So I'm going to add this first. I've mentioned this in other videos, but when using these, and Posca pens as well, actually, very similar. They're very wet, but they dry quickly. And I like to go back in and add details on the leaves. And in order to do that, the botanical piece here has to be completely dry, or I can't go in and doodle. So I'm just gonna do this part first, so that way I know where it is. So I've got the placement down, and it's already drying while I'm working. I'm all about efficiency when arting, because then you can be a little more prolific and get more done, which can be good for people who want to do a lot and you're pressed for time. I'm gonna bring it all the way down to the bottom there. Okay, so that's gonna dry. But, and already I love the way that looks against the music notes. Lisa gave me these cute little house structure papers, and I really love the look of these kind of painterly ones. So instead of cutting them, which I still might do, I think I might try tearing along the edges, which you really can do fairly easily with most things. If you just kind of put your finger where you don't want to tear, you can kind of tear along where your fingers are. So it just kind of has this cool kind of looseness. I think I'll add those at the bottom maybe. And don't be afraid to, like, if you ever add botanical doodles or something, don't be afraid to kind of add stuff in front. I do that all the time, and that's okay. It just looks a little bit more organic. So I like that. I love this structure here too. Doot. So I'm going to try that again. It worked out okay. She's just got these cool brush strokes in there, and I just thought, well, I don't want to lose those. So tearing will kind of give the effect that they're there. Right? Kind of love that. I'm going to add it right over the center there a little bit. So it can kind of create almost like a foreground. I'm going to peel this back a little because I think what I want is to get that kind of in there a little bit. And I'll go right over my fold, so I'll create some, I guess, divots in there. Reinforce the fold a little bit so that when my page opens and closes, I'm not going to compromise my collage. Okay. Awesome. I like that. And then I have these bright sheets too. I don't know if I need to use them, but of course my theme today is green and red, or red and green. So I want to make sure that I get both colors in my collage. So now I think I'm going to add this here maybe. It's kind of fun to play with placement, but I always say to people, you know, don't get too caught up on auditioning things as well. You want to kind of give yourself a break about that and just kind of start putting things down, and you can kind of work from there. I love this girl. She would look cool kind of in front of the houses. Kind of like that a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put this one down. I've definitely got red in there from my botanicals. And this might be a really fast piece, which could be handy this time of year, right? Because everybody is so busy. But I think some people think that art journaling should take longer than it does, or you should really deliberate. But it really, you could make something really wonderful and pleasing real fast. It's very possible. It doesn't have to take a long time. And that's kind of a cool thing, because with art journaling, you know, sometimes it's nice to do it like first thing in the morning before you go to work, or you start your day, as kind of a little fun way to be creative and get some you time in, as like almost like a little meditation in a way. I'm just gonna make sure she's really on there. I also have some of this twine, which I thought, oh, that could be fun to kind of tie in. That's fun. See what I did there? All right, so I kind of like her. She's kind of sledding down alongside the, I love this joy bit here. I love kind of cutting around the words, kind of capturing the shapes. So I'm going to do that real quick. Just kind of loosely accentuating the curves of the letters, leaving a little white border, but just cutting around them a little bit to give them a little more depth there. Okay. All right, I love that. I don't know where I'm going to put that, but somewhere in here, possibly. Yeah. Like that. Sometimes it's fun to put it right over your, kind of cluster everything in the center. it above her. I also, sometimes I like, let's see, sometimes I kind of like to have it broken up a little bit, so something kind of like that. Yeah, okay. I think we'll do something like that. I'm just gonna put it on a little bit of text just to kind of add layers, you know. I do that a little bit when I'm working in my journals, just so it doesn't look too controlled. So I'm just going to keep it on her a little bit because I think I want some more red on this side. So I'm going to add another botanical over here. Just another one, just to kind of tie it in a little bit more. And even though I said I wanted to let the other ones wait, hopefully this one will dry by the time I want to doodle over here. Okay, now I might add some marks too, just to give this a little bit more depth. Again, it's all about creating texture and depth and kind of creating layers over layers, which I really love. So I like that. So I'm going to go back in here and just kind of doodle on my botanical here. This is dried pretty nicely. It's not 100% dry, but that's okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm gonna add my leaves. Okay. And I think I always kind of play around with the designs on my leaves. That one didn't come out so great, but whatever. You know, I do different things on the leaves depending on what's going on in the picture. So I'll kind of offset, you know, if I have stripes, I might do dots. But in this case, because it's Christmassy, I might try and kind of create a bit of a kind of snowflake or Christmas star kind of motif on these. I like that. Oopsie. It just looks a little Christmassy that way. Not a ton, but just a hint. You know, that vintage kind of like modern crisscross kind of. I like that. It is fun to play with doodles. That to me is kind of relaxing. You can get carried away though. I'm always very measured. I'm gonna fix that leaf a little because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. See, it's not completely dry, but that's okay. We'll come back to that. We'll keep going over here and over here. I always feel bad on videos doodling though, because who wants to see someone doodle? I feel like that's a little boring. So I'll try not to take too long. I'll let that one go. And then over here, I'll add one other little trick I've noticed too. If I'm kind of rushing on drying time, I've noticed that I can get this is a Uniball Signo. I can get it to work on something that's not 100% dry by just doing it a little more lightly. Because if you press down, then you're kind of putting an impression in the wet paint. But this way, I can just do a little light doodling, and then it'll work a little bit. Not so much on that one. So we'll try it here too, because I kind of corrected that one. Yeah, you can see that's okay. All right, so I love that. And you know, this is almost done to me. What I might do is just add a little bit more green and red here, just so I have some little red things going on. Kind of tie both sides together. And I also got some of this washi tape too. This is from the Tim Holtz line. This is vintage calendar paper. So I might try and, actually I have an idea. Maybe, let me get my scissors here. I can make a little kind of bow on my page to make it a little extra Christmassy. I don't know if this is gonna work, but if it does, could look kind of sweet. Who doesn't love baker's twine? It just makes everything look special, right? I think because it looks so Christmassy. And I've got my son's Tim Holtz scissors. His do not work so well. And he has taken mine, so I'm, okay. Struggling to get my bow on. It's pretty funny. It's a common occurrence in my house. All right, so let's see. Does that look good somewhere? Where could we put that? If anywhere, I don't know. And this is kind of how I journal. I'll just play a little bit. I kind of like it right here by the houses. So I might tear this down a little bit so it's not quite so thick, and just tape the bow on with this cool. So I have some three-dimensional elements to my page. And I think that's it, guys. I really loved making this page. It's so much fun. So this is green and red. I hope you enjoyed it.